Crispy vegetables like asparagus are perfect for stir-fried dishes, which are really very fast and simple to make. If you're cooking a several-course meal that includes a stir-fry, we suggest you do all your chopping ahead of time, put everything on a plate, set it aside, and then get on with the preparation of your other dishes, because the actual cooking time of a stir-fry is only a minute or two, and you want to serve it hot if you can. We'll use 3 large fresh prawns in this dish, but you can also make it with beef or chicken, and if you don't eat meat, there's no reason you can't leave it out completely. In addition to fresh asparagus, we've also got some garlic cloves that we peeled ahead of time, a handful of snow peas cut bite-sized, and a nice fresh red bell pepper. We've also got 3 shiitake mushrooms. Now if there's a variety of mushroom that you prefer, that's fine. If you're using dried mushrooms, you'll need to wash them very well in lukewarm water and then soak them for about a half an hour until they soften. So we have this colorful assortment of ingredients, and the idea is we're going to use them to create a dish that's not only flavorful, but also fragrant and pleasing to look at. Now let's start by preparing our prawns. We remove the head and the shell, which is not always the case in Thai cooking, but we leave the tail on, which adds a decorative element and serves as a little handle that your guests can use to pick up the prawn and eat it with their fingers if they wish. Don't forget to remove this little sharp bit at the base, because we wouldn't want anyone to bite down on that. Next, we slip them down the back and remove the veins. You can see how prawns and crabs are farm-raised in Thailand on a visit to a prawn farm on the culinary tour. Now if you really want to please your guests, watch what Room does now for a decorative effect. The rest of the preparation goes quickly, starting with the asparagus, which we cut into bite-sized pieces. By the way, if you can't get fresh asparagus, broccoli is equally good in this recipe. Next, we slice our onion and separate it into layers now. Because our cooking time is so brief, everything needs to be ready before we start adding things to the wok. Now we slice half our bell pepper. We remove the seeds from 1/4 and we cut it bite size. And our mushrooms. If you're using dried mushrooms, you'll need to soak them first until they soften. Our snow peas, and our garlic. Garlic in Western countries tends to grow larger and taste a bit stronger than that found in Thailand. So if you live in the West and one of our recipes calls for 3 cloves, for example, you might reduce it to 2. This is light soy sauce, a product you're likely to find in the Asian food section of your supermarket. Soy sauce adds saltiness, and we'll use just 1 teaspoon in this recipe. This is probably how you'll buy your oyster sauce in a bottle that looks something like this. As its name implies, it's made from fresh oysters and it gives dishes a slightly salty taste. It also thickens the liquid, allowing it to stick to the ingredients. Now here's an ingredient we sometimes get questions about. We simply call it seasoning sauce because of the many flavorings it has in it, including sugar, soybean, and disodium. In Thailand, it's sold under several different brand names. In this recipe, we use 1 teaspoon. Now, if you're a vegetarian, you can substitute this thick and tasty mushroom sauce for oyster sauce. And if you can't find it locally,
visit SITCA.net.
Now, with all our solid ingredients prepared, we're going to combine our liquid seasonings to make our cooking sauce. We'll start with a teaspoon of soy sauce. Next are 3 teaspoons of oyster sauce. 1 teaspoon of seasoning sauce. A half teaspoon of sugar to balance the saltiness. And lastly, a little black pepper. Pepper is indigenous to this part of Asia. As a matter of fact, hundreds of years ago, before Western traders brought chilies here from the New World, pepper supplied the hotness in Thai cooking. Fresh green peppercorns like these are used in some dishes just like this. They provide an aesthetically pleasing element and they burst with flavor. This is what this looks like when it's sun-dried. If we crush this, we get ground black pepper. If we remove the skin before crushing it, we get white pepper. White pepper is milder than black pepper. When you're a practiced Thai cook and you're familiar with all these seasonings, you can do what we just did on the fly while you're stir frying. We use vegetable oil for stir frying. Pretty much any kind will work, and we're heating this soybean oil over medium heat. First we add our garlic and our prawns. We add our asparagus, our snow peas, and our mushrooms. And we'll cook them for about a minute. Now at this point, we'll liquefy our mixture with about 1/3 cup of chicken stock. This will keep everything frying nicely. And after we cook this a little bit more, we add our onion and our red pepper. Now we add our mixture of sauces. Now to thicken our mixture, we add about a tablespoon of cornstarch, which we've dissolved in water. See how that's nicely thickened our sauce? We garnish with deep-fried dried garlic, not too much, some coriander leaves, and some strips of red chili pepper. The result is a dish that's as beautiful to look at as it is delicious to eat.